Well, they might have been rioting in Marseille, but here at livetradingfootball.com we were quietly going about our business in preparation for the opening night of the Euro 2016 Championship. And we kicked off with our first trade of the tournament, France against Romania. And here we can see in the members area, got the trade of the day, and there is a full detailed analysis of the actual trade and how we think that the teams we're actually going to do for this opening game. So we're looking at the sort of both the match line and the goal line, and there we have the actual trade that we're going to be doing, where we backed 1-2, 2-0, 2-1. In the half-time, full-time market, back draw France and Romania draw. And this is just a very typical example of sort of what we call the trade of the day, which obviously is available to the members in the trade of the day area. And once that trade's been completed, then a summary of that is posted the following day with the profit and loss, sort of trade summary of the sort of actual moves we made in play. And these are always posted, the day after the trade, and you can see that we record our results in a very transparent way, sort of month by month. So May, you can see we had a 26% return on investment there. And these are just for the trades of the day. That they actually don't include any in-play trades that we might do actually sort of live in the chat room. So over to tonight's game, France-Romania. Now, I thought that, given the historic statistics of sort of opening group games, it should be a sort of a low scorer. And I sort of centred the trade really around the 2-0 scoreline. France was sort of 1.37 favourites. I wasn't going to back them, at those particular odds. But, were they going to kind of, get off onto a good start? It was kind of doubtful, given their own particular, historical sort of stats in these sort of kind of tournaments. So I backed, certain correct scores, 2-0, 2-1 and 1-2, just in case Romania happened to do something incredibly amazing. Plus the I wanted to get the draw at half time on side as well. So here we are, and the game started, just about to start, I should say. Now, and here we are actually in the trading centre. You've got the chat room, and you've got these various trade boxes here, and where you can see trades I lead. That's my particular trade that I'm doing, and there we can see the chat room, where obviously we can sort of post what we like, where we discuss the trades, trade ideas, also have a little bit of a laugh. There's sort of a nice full house we had for the night. And in the sort of small strategies box on the right, this is a very useful kind of snapshot of some, but not all, of the strategies that we do. These are quite sort of common ones that we'll either use either pre-match or in play. And this particular strategy here, Gundolf's Gatto, which was devised by one of our senior members, Gundolf, and he actually applied this particular strategy to the France-Romania game, whereby he laid France in the half-time full-time market, in the half-time match odds market, at round about just short of even money for £50. So basically, he didn't want France to score, and the sort of specific sort of exit point of this strategy is that he'll start to sort of exit the trade so around about sort of 15-20 minutes into the game, as long as it's still 0-0. And you can see there he says he's starting to drip out of the particular lay. He's not getting rid of all of the money, but he's just actually what's called sort of dripping lay by sort of putting small amounts of money in at decreasing odds. So 21 minutes has gone, and sort of around about this point in the first half of this particular strategy, you've got the option really to either clear your red or just simply green up. And I think we'll probably see in a moment that's what Gundorf did in this particular trade, rather than leave himself with the possibility of having a £50 liability should France score before half time. I think he greened up for around about sort of 25% profit. And then we can just have a quick look at that extra sort of great feature of this particular trading console, is that you can follow a trade and you can also say thank you. Now, what this simply means is that once you kind of say thank you, that's giving, if you like, a point to the trader who then goes on that leaderboard. So you can see that sort of 3 people might have been following, or at least 3 people have said thank you for that, and that goes towards that trader's points total. And at the end of the month, this total is then all added up, and a prize will be given out. And in this particular case for the Euros, the prize for the top trader is actually £50. So, and all you've got to do is just come and join us. Right, 37 minutes, still 0-0, and this is actually on my trade now, and I decided to lay 0-0 half-time score very cheaply, so around about 1.22 for £9. I just got a sort of £2.25 liability there, just in case either France or Romania scored just before half time. Now, the idea about my particular strategy here was that if it was a draw at half time, I've got £30 green, sort of on the half time the half time draw France, draw at half time and France full time. So I've got that sort of quite nicely covered. What I decided to do was actually cash out after France went into a 1-0 lead on around about sort of 58 minutes, and I greened up the half-time full-time market for £14.70, whatever the result would be. So that nearly sort of covered. I was about £3 short of the liability I've got, which is £18 on the correct score market. So should it remain 1-0, sort of my worst case scenario was sort of around about a £3 about £3 loss. But I got the 2-0 covered. I got sort of £38 green on that, so that was okay. Even if it went to 1-1, I wouldn't be too concerned about that either, because I've also got some nice healthy green on the 1-2 and the 2-1. Other trades being sort of suggested here. Ian, who is our sort of occasional resident full-time trader, he's been a professional trader since sort of 2006. I mean, it was great to see him back, and he actually sort of posted a suggestion just before that French goal. I mean, literally 2 or 3 minutes of laying under 1.5 goals at 1.6. And it's all about timing, folks. So 2 or 3 minutes after that particular trade was posted by Ian, France went and took a 1-0 lead. In fact, some other members, Michael, I think, Gundorf, they also laid under 2.5 goals at round about 1.15, and as you'll see later on in the video, we can see how clever and smart a move that was. The game actually ended 2-1 to France, so the people that had laid the under 1.5 goals and the under 2.5 goals would have made a very, very sort of nice start to the tournament. Yeah, my particular trade, I mean, I'm not it's still 1-0 sort of around about 60 odd minutes. Now, I'm not too much sort of bother here. I'm not panicking sort of over much. The 2-0 odds at this particular point are still round about sort of 3.2. As I said, I've got sort of £38 green on that, which I can lay. And I've got that sort of 70 odd pound green on sort of 1-2 and the 2-1. So even if it goes to 1-1, I've got that sort of rather sort of healthy leverage on the 1-2 and the 2-1. So I'm not going to sort of do anything just yet. I'll sort of wait at least sort of around about sort of 70 or 75 minutes before I sort of make a particular move if I have to. But the basis, pre-match of this particular sort of trade was really centred around 2-0. I thought that was the favourite sort of scoreline, and I didn't want to sort of touch that really. I thought that was sort of a very, very sort of likely score, and I didn't want to sort of if you like, sort of spend the profit from that just at this particular moment. I was going to let the trade run, and hopefully it would at least go to 2-0. Because as it stands, I mean, even at 1-0, as I said sort of earlier, I mean, I'm only sort of £3 down on the trade, so I mean, I can accept that sort of very, very sort of comfortably. But so I want to try and let my potential profit run, if at all possible. Now, so around about sort of 60, 65 minutes, Romania got a penalty, and they made it 1-1, which was okay because I've got the 2-1 and the 1-2 here, and almost certainly the 2-1 will come steaming in at a very layable kind of price, sort of round about sort of 3.2 or something of that nature. Now, I'm posting, the trade box here. There's sort of, a couple of options. You can either green up the half-time, full-time market and the correct score market, and just simply exit the trade. Remember, we've already profited by sort of £14.70 on the half-time, full-time, and here I personally decided to cash out on the correct score market for £10. So I've got sort of round about sort of £25 less that half-time score lay. So I've got a guaranteed £22, which is sort of 70% return on my investment. I'm prepared to take that. I did sort of give them the members or people who are following my trade a sort of second option, which was just to clear that £18 red on the correct score market. In other words, still leaving a fair amount of nice green on the 2-1. You've got a couple of options there. But my advice always is that if that's your decision, and in this case it happens to be an option of two possible moves that you could make, is actually sort of be decisive. Don't think about them and kind of dither around and wait for sort of 5 minutes. You've identified the two best things you could possibly do here. So go ahead and make your decision. Be decisive. So there was just sort of confirmation of what I did. As I said, 70% return on investment is a very healthy return, and a great start, to the tournament. I mean, there's 51 games to go. You can just pick up these odds, sort of 20, 30, 40 pounds on a trade. Take it. They'll all add up. Plenty of games to go. And here's another little feature of the sort of trading sort of console. You can actually track your own sort of performance. So I just typed in there my profit on this particular game, which is £22, and that enters into this performance graph, and that accumulates sort of over a 30-day period. So you can see exactly what your profit and loss is over the trades that you've made, sort of over a month period. So it's a really handy feature for you to keep track, of what you've won and you've lost. The game itself was, it was an interesting game in the sense that I think Romania sort of actually played quite well. France looked definitely a bit suspect at the back. If they're going to really sort of progress deep into the tournament, I think they really have to sort themselves out sort of defensively. They've got a sort of a wealth of attacking and midfield talent, but I think this game sort of highlighted the little bit of fragility in defence. As it happened, Payet scored an absolutely sort of beautiful goal on the sort of 90th minute to actually give France the 3 points, and the game ended 2-1 to France. And there's this confirmation of my sort of green here. I've got the sort of 20 odd pound, 23 pound, so green already. So the death of sort of a couple of minutes in injury time, I just laid that 2-1 at 1.1 for 20 pounds. So I just sort of shaved a couple of quid off my already sort of guaranteed profit there. So I ended up with £9.24 on the correct score market, £14.75 on the half-time, full-time market, and less £2.25 on the half-time score. So all in all, it was a great opening night. It's a fantastic atmosphere in the chat room. A lot of people turned up, and we had a really special night, and I thank everybody for being there.